how it unfolded is really complicated because through the gates that people went in, there was security. We heard from the police chief saying that that shooter entered through a rear location from the creek, cut through a fence into a parking lot, and then at some point was confronted by police. Piecing this all together for us is our Chris Chmura. Chris, you've been getting all the information from all the different information sources that we've been getting, and you've put together a comprehensive breakdown of how this unfolded.
Yeah, we're going to take two different snapshots of this. First, a wider view to give you the lay of the land, then we're going to zoom in. So first and foremost, this is where the shooting took place here at Christmas Hill Park. This is Gilroy High School, about 9/10 of a mile away. That's where the command post or police is right now. Down to the south, this is Galvan College. This is where the reunification center is located right now. That's where reunifications are taking place even this late in the evening. All right, let's zoom in to where the festival was taking place right now and walk you through how the shooter or shooters got through. All right, this is a Google map. This is what we were looking at just a second ago. Here's Christmas Hill Park. We've heard a lot about the creek. This is the creek right here. The police chief was talking about the creek and a parking lot right next to it. This is a parking lot right here. So if we're taking what the police chief is saying and putting it together, it sounds like the shooter or shooters somehow managed to get through that creek, through the fence that they cut through or whatever they did to get through it, into this parking structure right here. This is the amphitheater down here. If you know the Christmas Hill Park and the festival well, that's the amphitheater. There's another stage on the other side over here, but this is the one, the larger one to the south. We're not sure exactly where on this map the shooting took place. What I can tell you, though, is that the distance from this area down here, the parking lot, all the way over to the other side is not very far. It is actually a pretty quaint and I would say intimate festival. So whatever is happening down here can be heard and can be understood on this side over here, no matter what is going on, especially if it's gunshots. Now, the other thing I can tell you is that not too far away from wherever this guy or guys came through, over or through the creek and then through the fence into the parking area, we do know that there was a police setup right here, as well as a checkpoint over here as well. That's according to the map that they have for the festival on its app. So there definitely was a police presence there. The police chief said that his officers were able to return fire and knock down at least one of the two within about a minute. Perhaps that's why, because they were centrally located. Think about this. These are the two ends of the festival. You've got police right smack in the middle. I can tell you there are 5 different gates located all around here. That works to their advantage going in. But if you're one of those people inside trying to get out, that seems to have worked to people's disadvantage. The other big disadvantage here, and you can see it based on the map, is that there's now a manhunt going on, and this gets very rural very fast. When we zoom back out again, you can see there's virtually nothing on the map here. If this were an aerial map, that would all be green. Lots of places to hide and lots of places for the police and the other agents who are on the ground to search. I can tell you real quick, talking about another map, let's run through the hospitals real quick. Raj was mentioning this earlier, the wide distances in the hospitals and the medical centers treating people. Perhaps that speaks to the severity of the wounds. We can tell you that down in Gilroy, some of these numbers are in flux right now. There were 6 gunshot wound victims down there at St. Louis Regional Hospital. 2 of them wound up at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center, where they ended up with 7 gunshot wound victims. And then we see reports of 2 gunshot wound victims at Stanford with unknown conditions at this point. Some of those numbers might be in flux. The other number, by the way, is that, and not to discount their injuries, there were many more patients who received injuries as a result of trying to get away, running for their lives, and they were treated and released, or some of them perhaps have been released from St. Louis Regional Hospital down there in Gilroy. But I think it speaks to the nature of the wounds that people had to be transported so far away and so far north and trying to deal with those gunshot wounds. But again, back to what's happening right this second, this manhunt that's underway, and not to give away tactical information, but what I can tell you is based on what we're seeing is that there are police officers everywhere, and when they say stay away, you really do want to stay away. Back to you guys.